Hello, my name is Madison, and I'm going to be talking about sexism in sports. So, who has heard of the phrase separate but not equal? You probably heard it back during American history class talking about the Plessy versus Ferguson case. And if you have not heard it before, this phrase was a Supreme Court ruling that granted inequitable, segregated facilities legal. Yes, we have journeyed many steps forward from this thinking, but who would believe me if I said separate but not equal is still transpiring today? I am not talking about racism, but sexism, particularly in sports. Most of you here today have probably witnessed or experienced sexism in sports. Personally, I have witnessed and experienced sexism in sports throughout my athletic career. Sexism is alive and well in sports. I am here today to persuade you to act in stopping sexism. I will be discussing Title IX, the differences in media coverage and perceptions, and the pay inequalities. In 1972, Congress passed a law called Title IX in an attempt to prohibit discrimination of women in sports. This law was meant to force the NCAA, the National Collegiate Athletic Association, to follow two conditions. First, they must offer females and males equal opportunities to participate. And second, they must provide equal treatment to the male and females participating. This included financial aid, facilities, equipment, housing, coaching, publicity, and much more. This law intended to eliminate discrimination and sexism in sports, but most schools scapegoated the Title IX because it was not strictly forced in schools. According to Women's Sports Foundation, NCAA Division I schools are spending only 28% of total athletic expenditures, 31% of total recruiting dollars, and 42% of their athletic scholarships on women athletes. Let me tell you this. These numbers have significantly increased since Title IX, but they are still not adequate. One reason for this is coaches, players, and parents do not know their rights to equality. They have been led to believe men have always been superior in sports and will always be. But I am here today to encourage you to not believe in male power exists in sports. Most of you are probably unaware of the movement towards ending sexism because the media coverage of female athletes is minimal. The media's primary focus is on the men's side of sports. The Women's Sports and Fitness Foundation, WSFF, estimates that in 2013, women's sports received 7% of coverage and 0.4% of the total value of commercial sponsorships. In the slight chance a female is covered in the media, I can almost guarantee you she is not praised for athletic accomplishments, but rather her femininity or sexual appeal. The media idolizes physical appearance over athletic skill and strength. The sports media's minimal coverage of the women's sports, coupled with the despairing different way it portrays female athletes, continues to reinforce male power and privilege within sport. Aren't those female stereotypes a little bit outdated by now? Everyone needs to face the fact that there are women who can dunk in the WNBA, race in NASCAR, ski, snowboard, and figure skate at the Olympic level. It's high time that a woman proves she's an amazing athlete by her moves on the field and not her poses in front of the camera. With no surprise, media coverage directly correlates to the salary gap between male and female athletes. In 2009, it was reported by Larry Kuhn in the WNBA Collective Bargaining Agreement that a WNBA player's maximum salary was 59 times lower than a WNBA player's average salary. It is not fair to have such a significant gap for the same sport but opposing sex. Members of the USA soccer team are not taking it any longer. They have filed wage discrimination against the U.S. Soccer Federation with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. UFF's 2015 financial report says that despite the women's team generated nearly $20 million more revenue last year than the U.S. men's team, the women are paid about a quarter of what the men earn. One very famous team member, Carly Lloyd, says, "We believe now the time is right because we believe it's our opportunity for women's sports and specifically for women's soccer to do what it takes to push for equal pay and equal rights, and to be treated with respect." It is just astonishing that a women's team with much better success that generates more revenue than a men's team is getting paid less. Overall, the disparity between what a male athlete must do in order to become successful is vastly different from their female counterpart. She must be able to deal with receiving less money than a man and pose in front of a camera in order to achieve a little bit of spotlight and prove that she is in fact feminine. I hope to see one day where the phrase, "you play like a girl," is no longer an insult, but a compliment. Thank you.